corner. Yes. And yes, she heard herself misbehaving Maxine, with our famous market report. And another addition, we're going to hear from our director of our nursery. Yes, Farrelly, our director. Also pleasant good morning to all the farmers in the land, 3 islands wide. Good morning. To all Villa employees, want to say good morning to you. Skull, Hasford, Hookrow, Miss Hazelwood, Miss Charles, Miss Smith. I want to say special good morning to the elite team. Rosai Dembo, I want to say good morning. Talia Stanley, good morning. And our PIO, Linisha French, from the farm radio program. You can share this with the Department of Agriculture page.
Yeah, but I need the login information. How do I do it? Mommy, I have an idea. Give me a minute.
Okay, the app.
I would need, the login information. But I might be able to do it like this.
Fresh from the farm radio program. This is where we separate the fact from the fiction. We bring you updates, department updates, that is. We tell you about our department opportunities. This is where you get the official information with regards to the agriculture industry in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is it. Good morning and welcome to the Fresh from the Farm radio program. This program is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, and we are so happy to be here with you each and every other Wednesday, where we can separate the fact from the fiction. And like I said previously, the department is here, and if you would like to speak to us, the number to call is 340 773 0390 or 340 773 0490. And this is where we separate the fact from the fiction. The Department of Agriculture, similar to when you're playing dominoes or you're playing cards, the players are not privy to the cards that they're dealt. That is to say that you draw from a deck of cards, and the hand that you are in possession of, you have no control over it. However, you are obligated to play the best game that you can play. With certitude, I can say that we who labor at the Department of Agriculture, we play the best hand that we can play with regards to the resources that we have at hand. We have a set of employees who care about the work or the importance of the work that we do. And for this reason, we come into our department each and every day, beginning from 6:30 in the AM, and we are there most often until 6:30, 7 o'clock in the PM, serving our community. And as everyone knows, the Department of Agriculture, we probably have the lowest budget in government. However, that does not the freeing us from our responsibilities and our duties to the communities. Yes, I have to admit that sometimes the blows that we get, yes, maybe we receive, but 90% of the blows that we get, we don't receive because individuals don't understand what it is that we experience at the Department of Agriculture in terms of resources. And oftentimes, speaking about resources, I want to say big up to our mechanics who oftentimes have to MacGyver or create tools or create parts to to actually have the machines working to provide that service to our community. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to say big up to our staff and all of them, not just in the mechanic area, but all the staff who comes to work on a daily basis and who give of themselves to the community. So at this time, we don't hear from our director of nursery often, but he's here. He's here with us on the line. We want to say good morning to our director of the nursery, and I hope that I get his name correctly. I tend to call him Farley, but for the record's sake, Chiyoki. Chiyoki Farley. I want to say good morning to you, Chi. How you feeling on this morning, Chiyoki?
Morning, sir. Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Abraham. How are you doing?
I am
And to the
doing.
listening audience, good morning.
I want to say I'm doing fine, and I would say that the listening audience is anticipating what is it that you may have for us with regards to, well, what's going on with the Department of Agriculture nursery. What you got up in there, Farley?
Well, currently in the nursery, I got some beets, I got some Swiss chard, got some pak choy, cabbage, collard greens, carrots. I got a few seasoned peppers left, not many, very few. Um, and then I got some small tomato and basil. They'll be ready like the end of next week. But for right now, collard greens, pak choy, Swiss chard, beets, cabbage, carrots, and got a few seasoned peppers.
So, with regards to the cost of these items that you just talked about, what is the cost per season?
The herbs are 25 cents each. The celery, parsley, and basil, and kind of that thing. And everything else, all your leafy greens, everything else is 5 for $1 to 20 cents a piece. So 25 for the herbs, so 4 for $1, and 20 cents flat for the leafy greens, so that's 5 for $1, 20 cents a piece. Yeah, so you can't beat that deal at all. It's the best place to get your starters. You get a 2-week head start on what you're dealing with. And our stuff look pretty good. With the heat we got this year, our stuff look pretty good. So if you're farming in a good head start to get backyard or in a large scale. And of course, we take orders from farmers. Well, from anybody. You come in, let me know what you want, and I can plant you a tree or so. And then supply-wise, we got a 2020 water soluble fertilizer. We're gonna sell that 5 pounds, $20. The big bag is 50 pounds for $150. We got granular fertilizer in 10-10-10 or 15-15-15. The 10-10-10 is 45 for the 50-pound bag, and the 15-15 is 50 or $49 for the 50-pound bag. And we will sell both of them broke down in 10-pound increments for $12 a piece.
All right, all right. There you have it. There you have it. You heard from our director of the nursery. But before we go, you just reminded me of Frankie Johnson, who's always asking, what about fertilizer? Do we have any fertilizer available? Let's start, Mr. Farley.
Yeah, we do have. We got a good bit at the present moment. It looks like we're about to start getting some rain, so yeah, this is the time to come in.
So
I got 10-10 and I got 15-15 in the ground.
So if you're listening, Senator Frankie Johnson, you heard it yourself that our director of the nursery just confirmed that indeed, we do have available that fertilizer that you're always asking about. So, Director Farrelly, I want to say give thanks for the work that you do, and I want to say, thanks to your staff as well.
No problem. But joy, only thing, I know it's like season now, so yeah, let us know. But yeah, love to see people coming in as I feel be saying food security, sovereignty, all that is key for your health and for your well-being, your mind, and everything. So yeah, check us out. We're here. We're powerful on time, 12 to 1. Other than that, we're here from 8 till 4. 4 to 5, the cashier will be carrying our stuff. So, but we still here. But she don't like to do no business after 4-ish. So yeah, we're here.
And of course, that's for security. That's for security concerns, and for following policy with regards to not leaving, monies in the office. So, Dr. Director Farrelly, want to say thank you once more for providing us with a report on what's going on with the nursery at the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. Thank you, my brethren.
No problem. Take it easy.
There you heard it. There you heard it yourself. Director Farrelly, Cherokee Farrelly, from our director for the nursery at the Department of Agriculture. And you heard him himself speaking about sovereignty and food security. Listen to the experts who give the labor of love, as the commissioner would call it, because yes, it must be a labor of love for the amount of time, that we put into seeking to develop the agriculture industry in the territory. And the main way in which to reduce the import rate and increase access and the availability of locally grown food would be the co-op. Having the co-op system in order to provide that food sustainability, meaning to say that we can have a consistent flow of a variety of crops being accessible here in the territory. And yes, it is very much feasible, and the best strategy to date would be for us to implement the co-op system, in which we will talk a little bit more on later. And the department, and I'm so happy to be with the department at this time because there are so many initiatives that we're taking to position the department to be better for the successor of the department would have that foundation that it would require to take the department to the next level. Like I say, it is a labor of love, and we'll go into it a little bit later. But at this time, I'm already smiling. She belongs to us. She belongs to you. There is no one who can deliver our farmers market report. No one other. Even just to present her and to say her name, it has me up in a frenzy, all up in arms, all up in everything. Misbehaving. Maxine, want to say good morning. Are you there? First of all,
yeah, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Misbehaving, Maxine. Just to say your name, I am telling you right now, it's problems. How are you doing on this morning, Misbehaving, Maxine?
I am doing blessed as usual. Once I'm around food, you know what time it is, Mr. Abraham? Stop playing.
What?
I'm all right.
What time is it,
I get
Misbehaving?
excited when I see these farmers and see food. I get excited.
Oh, yeah?
So I give thanks, and I am so every Wednesday, every other Wednesday, every Saturday, when I could talk about what these farmers have and how they work so hard in the fields and growing this food. So I really give thanks to come and let the people know what these vendors and farmers have at our markets. So I feel real good to do this on a regular, Mr. Abraham. And then your introduction just makes it even better. Makes it even better. So, good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Assistant Commissioner. Good morning, Deputy Commissioner. Good morning, the whole crew of agriculture. Good morning to all our farmers and our vendors out there and all our people that support our farmers and vendors. Good morning to you, too. So, this morning, yes, it's Wednesday, Mr. Abraham. Hump Day.
Yes.
And you know what that means. We run out of things from what we have purchased over the weekend and things like that. So, of course, our farmers are here for you at the Lorraine Market across from Pueblo next to Chicken Shot. We know how we go. Right there, you can find those farmers and vendors. This morning, they'll be out there till about 3 today, but you can always get your produce right there. This morning, lots of bananas in the house, man. Banana, we get finger rolls, we get green fig, we get green banana. If you don't want it ripe yet, you have some ripe, unripe, lots of banana, guys. Same goes with the plantain. We have lots of plantain. Dragon fruit, star fruit, mangoes. We still have mangoes in season. Mangoes are still bearing, are still coming. I had a nice kidney one this morning. Yeah, stuck all in your teeth, but sweet, nice, and good for you. Mangoes a lot. Aki is in season, guys.
Okay.
If you're looking for your seasoning stuff, we got chives, we got recao. We have that. We have few garlic chives left on the chives end. Recao, papaya, coconut. Of course, if you're looking for dry coconut, we have for your baking needs. We also have coconut water. There's mamita pote, guava, cucumbers, lots of cucumbers, pumpkin, eggplant, sweet peppers, some hot peppers too, tamarind, tamarind, tamon, all of the above. We got it. Tamarind, sweet and sour. Bodi, green beans. Some of you might call it bodi, some may call it green beans. The long, nice ones, we have them. Kennep, guys. Kennep is here. Like I told you, Kennep is here. There's watermelon, breadfruit. On our plant section this morning, we have a lot of plants. I know a lot of people like to put down their plants and slip decorational plants, anything of that sort. And we always encourage you to grow something. So there's plants, there's bush tea plants like lemongrass, rosemary. You can get your lime plants. They're no more here today. We could check them on Saturday or next Wednesday here at the market for your lime plants. Lots of different little seedlings and plants too. We encourage you to grow something. There's also lemongrass ready for you to make that bush tea. There's lemongrass, mint, and bay leaf. Don't forget our value-added products. It goes without saying. Lots of stews. We still have tamarind stew. We have some cherry stew, gooseberry stew, some may call it also. Then we have pepper sauce. We have the pepper sauce. We have Cajun pepper sauce, made right here from our local ingredients here, freshly made. This coconut oil, your pound seasoning. If you're looking for that pound seasoning to put on your food and season up that good food, you got your pound seasoning. And then we also have the sofrito too. Local juices, we have passion fruit, tamarind, and of course coconut water, like I said before. I want you guys to remember our markets every Wednesday. We on this station every other, but market is open every Wednesday on St. Croix. And of course, it's open every day too on St. Thomas at Market Square. You can always find more out there in that market on St. Thomas at Market Square. And don't forget, every Saturday, our markets are open on St. Croix, 4:30 in the a.m. to 2 o'clock in the p.m. And that's on the Rudolph Shelterbrand grounds, Fairgrounds, as you may know it. Every Saturday we're there. And don't forget, on St. Thomas Market Square, they're there every Saturday from 4 o'clock in the a.m. to 4 o'clock in the p.m. And of course, if you're in St. Thomas and you're up on the west side in Bordeaux, The market is open every second and every last Sunday of every month. You can catch those farmers out in Bordeaux and support our farmers and our local vendors. And of course, you get a lot of value-added products up in Bordeaux from all our produce and vegetables around. And you guys, I want you to stay tuned. We have a new Facebook page. I know our PIO has been telling you guys. The Department of Agriculture, U.S. Virgin Islands. Stay tuned to that Facebook page because a lot of things are coming up. Farmers Market Week coming, guys. It's coming, so you got to stay tuned. Stay tuned to our radio programs so you can know what's going on when it comes to our farmers market out here in our territory on every island. So stay tuned, stay tuned. I told you St. John is rocking and rolling. So agriculture is where you got to stick with so you can know what's going on when it comes to our food. So thank you, Mr. Abraham, for your time. Thanks for giving me that time for that market report. I'm so honored to tell you what these farmers are having out here on a daily basis and especially on our farmers market days. So thank you, Mr. Abraham, for your time. I appreciate it. Misbehaving, signing out.
Misbehaving before you go. Before you go. Gotta ask you. I heard that we got some good news on today with regards to some coupons for your program. What?
I was trying to. Yes, my WIC recipients, coupons. They will be at the WIC offices. So you contact your WIC office and get those coupons. By next week, you will have them up and rolling. So yeah, WIC coupons, I'm excited about that. It's a lot of money to come in to for your WIC coupons and use.
So you heard it.
But WIC coupons is something that we want you to use, so they'll be in our Department of Health offices as early as next week. So please, guys, get with your WIC offices and get your WIC coupons.
You heard it yourself. Misbehaving Maxine, letting the community know in per se, the WIC recipients, letting the WIC recipients know that the coupons are available and about to get distributed to or delivered to your local WIC office where you will be able to pick up that extra benefit. Misbehaving Maxine, I want to thank you so much for the time that you took to provide us with our farmers market report.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. Misbehaving, signing out. You guys have a blessed day.
There you heard it. There you heard it yourself. If you're just tuning in to this radio program, you're tuning into the Fresh from the Farm radio program, and this program is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. And yes, you heard Misbehaving yourself, reaching out directly to our WIC recipients, letting the WIC recipients know that the WIC Farmers Market program is about to get launched. And for those of you out there who may not know what is the Farmers Market Nutrition Program, well, this is primarily a marketing strategy to increase the availability of food, number one, and two, to provide that revenue to our farmers in the territory. What do I mean by that? Well, the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program, it provides women, infants, and children, eligible women, infants, and children of the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program, access to locally grown food. Now, this program is operated through a coordinated effort with the Virgin Islands Department of Health WIC program. We have a memorandum of understanding in place which delineates the responsibilities of each agency. So, the Department of Agriculture side, we operate the program and we monitor the program, provide the reports, apply for the grant. And on the Department of Health WIC program on their side, well, they distribute the coupons that we provide to them, to the eligible recipients, and they also provide the education part of it, along with providing their clients with the locations of where they can find the locally grown food and to use those coupons. The farmers who are eligible for these programs must sign up for this program during a time, maybe 2, 3 months ago, when Misbehaving Maxine would have put the word out that we're seeking for farmers to be a part of this program. There must be training where the program parameters is explained to the participants, or well, the individuals who will want to participate in the program. Okay, they sign up for it. Um, the status of check with regards to having the necessary documents required to be in the program, which would be an eligible farmer's license. You must have a current food card as well, and I believe that there is a background check. Now, once you are a part of this program, you are eligible farmer vendor to accept those coupons from our WIC recipients. And at your vending station, whether you're at the Department of Agriculture Farmers Market or whether you're on the roadside, wherever you are in the community, there will be a big yellow sign which reads WIC Farmers Market coupons accepted here. The recipients are allowed to use the coupons where they see the signs. They can gain access to fresh locally grown foods, and the farmer, when they collect the coupons, they bring those coupons to the Department of Agriculture, who redeem those coupons for checks in which the farmers vendors can take to the bank of their choosing. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. It creates a ready market for our farmers and vendors to give them, access to this market and generate that revenue from this market, which is a big boost to their business and also to the economy, because when the farmers make the money, they spend the money in the community in which they live, and the money circulates. So it's an excellent program. Now, on the side of the WIC recipients, now gain access to fresh, locally grown food, which has a higher nutrition value than imported foods. That's hands down. The food have a longer shelf life, and when with regards to nutrients, well, fresh food have higher enzymes than imported food, because with imported foods, I mean, from farm to the dock, you know, who knows how long that those foods stay at the dock before it gets down here to the Virgin Islands, which often, chemicals are used for preservation purposes, which has more often than not an adverse effect, or may have an adverse effect on the members of our community, which has a high cancer rate, a high blood pressure rate, high blood sugar rate, and these things come from the foods that we eat. So it is a benefit to eat fresh, locally grown food. Okay. Now, with regards to sustainability, food sovereignty, and with regards to having um, food security, because those are the terms that we hear all the time. Now, if let's say, for example, I like to paint a background picture before I come to my meat and my potatoes. But let's say that we're trying to get from um, Christiansted to Fredericksted. Well, there the principal way to get from Christiansted to Fredericksted is to walk or to run. Okay. Another way is for transportation. You catch a ride from Christiansted to Fredericksted or horseback. You can ride a horse from Christiansted to Fredericksted. There are various ways to get from Christiansted to vehicle. The point is that vehicle is the most efficient way to get you there, although your two legs can get you there as well. What I'm trying to say, to get us from a point of minimum or no food security, no food sovereignty, to a point where we in the territory do have food security and food sovereignty, in my humble opinion, I think that the best vehicle to get there is the use of wisdom, taking into consideration the benefits, the value of wisdom which existed before time, and to take into consideration how wisdom have helped to develop the human race and to develop mankind. So I think that with wisdom is the best vehicle to use. Now, wisdom points out that she appears in the simplest form. Therefore, I would say that the strategy to take us from point A to point B with wisdom would be one that is not complicated nor require a whole lot of whatever. Okay? And for we who work in the industry to develop the industry of agriculture, what we are saying to you is the following. The co-op system. The co-op system is the best way to, or the best vehicle to use to get from no food security to food security. Why would we say this? Currently, here is what's going on. Despite the fact that we were on a sunbelt, okay, and for those of you who don't understand what a sunbelt is, we're like positioned like really close to the equator, and from all accounts, when agriculture is concerned, it is deemed that the our soil matter is rich, and indeed it is. We had Dr. Zimmerman from the UVI School of Agriculture who pointed out that all lands under the jurisdiction of the Department of Agriculture is prime fertile land. Okay? Now, most of the individuals or farmers who plant has bills to pay, and bills don't stop coming, bills come every month. All right? And oftentimes what we find that short crops are the main crops that our farmers grow, because it would take anywhere between 30 to 90 days to bring crops to the market, from seed to the market. About well, let's say about 100 days, because you have to reap and clean and all of that, and then eventually get it to the market. Now, what we find is taking place that there are different factions of farming going on within the territory, and the thing is that no faction knows what the other faction is doing or what they're growing. And as a result, what happens is everyone grows the same thing around the same time. And why do they grow the same things around the same time? Our farmers tend to grow according to the season. We have rainy season here and we have the dry season here. So when it comes to the rainy season, we see the same types of crops growing. With regards to those vegetables which would be requiring a lot of water. So let's take cucumber for example. During that time when we have cucumbers, we have so much cucumbers available that it saturates the market. The market can't purchase anymore. Then we find then there's waste Okay. Unfortunately, since we don't have any processing facilities here, that is where the waste comes into play. We say the cucumber, for example, for maybe say 3 months straight, we have so much cucumbers available, but then for the next 3 to 6 months, there's zero cucumbers, locally grown cucumbers available to the community. There is zero access, zero availability to cucumbers, none whatsoever. This is our reality. This is a fact. Okay? Now, taking it into consideration that there's a great need for locally grown food, especially a crop like cucumbers. So this crop indeed can be available all year round. Certain times of the year or season would require more effort than other season than the other season. The fact is we can have cucumbers all year long based upon the climate that we have and based upon the knowledge that we have to operate within the various climates to produce the cucumbers. Now, the co-op system, in a simple way and in a simple form, would illustrate that farmers come together and hold one thinking with regards to reducing the import rate and having the, let's say, since we're talking about cucumbers, having the cucumbers available all year round. It's going to take a coordinated effort where there is a planting schedule and a harvesting schedule. And all the farmers who are involved in this project plan to increase the sustainability or having an increased locally grown food in the territory, each faction, since we're speaking about faction, will know the appropriate time to plant those cucumbers. Now, not withholding that that particular farmer is stick to just growing only cucumbers. All right, that farmer can grow whatever that farmer desires to grow. However, we're talking about a coordinated effort, a group of farmers, a faction of farmers working together to produce a single crop intentionally to have the crop available to the community for a whole year. That's or and 2 years and 3 years. That sustainability is what we're talking about. That planting schedule, like I pointed out previously, will let each farmer know when you plant, when you're going to harvest. So what we're going to have is a succession of planting and harvesting. Another way of saying this is that if we have three farmers, for example, farmer A, farmer B, farmer C, okay, when farmer A plant, 4 weeks later, farmer B plant, 4 weeks later, farmer C plant. What is going to occur at that time when farmer A harvests his crops? Okay, by the time his crops has been completed harvesting, and when cucumbers is concerned, you can get at least two good crops. When I say two good crops, I mean the maximum production of those cucumbers. But more often than not, you can get 3, 4 harvests of a field of cucumbers. Maybe the third and fourth harvest wouldn't be as much as the first and second. Nonetheless, you can harvest, at least, 4 times, if you know what you're doing. Let's say, for example, by the time farmer A has completed harvesting their crops and there's no more cucumbers to be harvested or minimum cucumbers to be harvested by farmer A, farmer B crops is prime and ready for the market to now put that production of cucumbers on the market. And when farmer B cucumbers um, has completed harvesting or at a minimum harvesting level, farmers C now their production of cucumbers is ready to be harvested. When farmer C, by the time farmer B begins to harvest, farmer A goes into the ground again in another location or on the same location. You see? And this is what it takes. A co-op system also involves sharing resources. Okay, that means that a single tractor could be bought for this project plan, and the farmers involved in this production would share or the use of the tractor because whilst your crops are growing, you know you have no use for the tractor, but another farmer would have the use for the tractor because he would be needed to plow. So the organization of farmers to grow crops for the community is currently the best way to go because it is a very simple way in which we can have a sustainability effort, coordinating farmers to work together so we can have that increased availability and access of locally grown food. So at this time, I don't want to ramble on, but this is subject matter is very dear to us who labor at the Department of Agriculture, and I want to bring on our chief captain, who is that inspiration to us all, because we all see how well, I don't want to say he works hard, but he works very smart. But yes, he works very hard. And without a doubt, we must say that our Commissioner of Agriculture, he leads all efforts, he leads all projects within the department. Once the goal has been established, the commissioner just leave it up to his, directors and his supervisors to, establish, the objectives or the activities that go along with achieving those objectives, which ultimately would achieve the goal and provides the favorable results that or the favorable results that we or you may be expecting. So at this time, let's go to the phone line where we have our illustrious Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Lewis E. Peterson Jr. Good morning, Commish. How are you feeling?
Good morning, it's Abraham. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fresh. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Commissioner, I feel fresh. I feel fresh. As yourself.
I am feeling well, man. Another Wednesday morning, another informative episode of Fresh from the Farm Radio.
Yes.
And for me, Mr. Brown,
Yes,
I appreciated what you just shared and presented to the public. And I am going to comment on that, but before that, I'm in a very reflective mood. Very reflective mood. Yes, I am.
Yes, Commissioner.
As everyone listening is aware, we have been planning for several weeks, several months actually, and hyping up and enthusing the public about our conferences that we just concluded.
Yes.
On the 17th of July, we just concluded two very important conferences which we are really, really proud of. One was the 58th annual conference of the Caribbean Food Crop Society.
Yes,
this is a conference held every year in a different Caribbean region, and we were proud to be the host this year. The second conference that we ended was the first Virgin Islands Agricultural Caribbean Conference as a result of Act 8306, championed by former Senator Jaman James. So on both occasions, Mr. Abraham, I'm saying to you, I'm saying to the public who may not all have been there, that we had a successful week and two successful conferences. By all means, they were very successful. We're speaking about nearly 200 people, first of all, that were registered to attend the conference. That's a big thing.
Yes, Commissioner.
And the second thing is that we had over 50 farmers who registered to be at the conference. That's also major for us.
Yes.
And then we had so many students involved, Mr. Abraham. Students from the Virgin Islands, students from the University of Florida, students from the we have to think of succession. We have to think of the future of organization.
Yes.
And for me, I was pleased to know that so many students were involved. And so we see that the future of these organizations and the conferences is really in good hands. Really in good hands. And Mr. Abraham,
yes, Commissioner.
Just to speak with people, scientists, farmers, and others from so many parts of the Caribbean was also enlightening for me. So for me, one of the highlights as well was just engaging with so many people. Honduras, Costa Rica, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, Suriname, Florida, on and on. It was just enlightening for me, and for me, it was a really big part, highlight of the conference. But another highlight for me was the fact that the presentation that we organized, deliberately organized, they were meant to really bring home some points, some messages. One, for example, was the presentation on data and the business of agriculture.
Yes.
One of the messages we wanted to really get across there was the importance of data collection and data submission by farmers to the Department of Agriculture. It was excellently executed, that presentation by Mr. Tazali Tafari and Ms. Talia Stanley, one of our shining students. Right?
Yes, our shining star.
And in addition to the presentation just being so well done, one farmer came to me at the end of the entire conference, at the end of the conference the last day, and he actually said to me that he's better now informed about the importance of why record keeping is such an important thing.
Good.
And he plans to do a better job at keeping records. So when I think of the success of the conference, it was successful in so many ways, including really reaching the audience and delivering those points. And yet another farmer made a comment to me about another segment, another session. One of the sessions was about our outreach support for farmers. And of course, we had presenters from different entities, from the School of Agriculture, UVI, from the Department of Agriculture, and elsewhere. And one of them was from Dr. Weller, our very own Dr. Weller, the Weller, our Director of Vet Services. And his message to the farming community was, think of quality, not quantity, but think of quality. Which is to say that sometimes you may have a whole herd of 50 sheep on your farm, but they may all not necessarily be productive.
That's true.
So think in terms of narrowing down your flock to the most productive, and therefore the better return on all your investment of time, money, etc. And so, Mr. Abraham,
yes, Commissioner,
a farmer came to me afterward as well and said to me, that was good. He appreciated it. And he's going to start reconsidering how we manage his herd and thinking in terms of profitability and quality and not necessarily quantity. So just by sharing those two examples or how it wanted to me, and just by expressing those, let me know that the conference, again, for so many reasons and so many ways, was very, very impactful on those who listened. And of course, we had a presentation on the power of collective work and responsibility. We had examples of what collective work looks like from Puerto Rico, from St. Croix, and from St. Thomas. What much better can you do than that, Mr. Abraham? A diversity of experiences. And coming out of, let's say, St. Thomas, we had a presentation by the winners who owns the Winner Hill Cooperative community farm, the community garden, and they spoke about how they got together and how they coordinate among themselves and how among themselves they derive profit, not just from the actual production, but from the value added, from the other activities on the site, the dinners that they have there. They really were impressive to me in terms of a model that others could look upon and replicate and do likewise or even do bigger and better. So that for me was impactful. We also heard from Mr. and Mrs. Brown, Dale Brown, John Oxygen Farm, and they spoke about their collective work and responsibility under the umbrella of Island Food Security. That also was very, very meaningful to me, very impactful, gave all of us some insight as to how working together really gets the message across, increases production, increases profitability, increases efficiency. And so I was pleased with that. I thank them all for their presentation. And then out of Puerto Rico, of course, we had another presentation. Puerto Rico have a really long and successful history in cooperative work.
It's true.
What our director, David King from Puerto Rico, Mr. Ramirez, gave a history, first of all, of how Puerto Rico got so involved with the cooperative movement. And then he gave examples of successful initiatives in Puerto Rico. But then he also spoke about something we can benefit from. He spoke about the statutes, the legal statutes, the ordinances that they enact in Puerto Rico to support the cooperative movement. And so because of the laws that are in place, they have entities that oversee cooperative work. One particular entity funds cooperatives, another one oversees the implementation of the cooperative businesses that they do a good job, another one ensures cooperative. It was just amazing, and all who attended gained and learned a whole lot from that. A whole lot. But what I also noticed and heard and witnessed myself is the resulting cooperative work, the resulting networking that came out of those sessions. I heard people speaking about what they're going to do next and asking for exchange contact information. And I'm just anxious to see what comes out of that collective work, even from those who attended. So for me, that was a highlight as well. Just the networking that will come out of that 5 days of sessions, because what we really are looking for, Mr. Abraham, are benefits that outlive the 5 days of the conference. And that's what we're talking about. And then the very, very, very last day of the conference, the very last session of the conference, technical session, we focused on nurturing the next generation. Because after all is said and done in all of these conferences and meetings, if we don't impact farmers, and if we don't impact the next generation,
yes, right.
we are not doing much at all, if anything. So we were really pleased about that last session as well. We had presentations from former Assistant Commissioner Diana Collingwood about the work that she is doing. We had presentations from the RT Park at UVI about their vision for an agripreneur initiative.
Yes.
We had presentations from Chad and what they call UVA Core, that's what they call themselves, at NPD. They spoke well about the planning that they are doing and about to increase of fund. We also heard from Ms. Choi, who is at the UVA School of Agriculture, about their Summer Explore program. And I think I listened one or two, but look, suffice it to say that when I listened to those presentations, I for sure felt good about the fact that we have in the making future scientists, future farmers. I mean, all of us don't see these things every day, but that occasion showed us in one single setting the work that is being done. It also showed me that it is not just that in the public sector things are happening, but in the private sector as well. So the message for me at the end of that, Mr. Abraham, was that we need to showcase more of the work that's being done, but we also need to strengthen and connect our public and private sector entities even more than we're doing now. And I really believe that the conference did exactly that, to start a process of strengthening collaborative work between the public and the private sector. So those are my reflections, Mr. Abraham. Those are my reflections. And I also want to say thank you to all of those who really, really made it happen. I'm speaking about the great team at the UVA School of Agriculture.
Yes.
The great team at the Department of Tourism. And of course, last but never least, the great team at the Department of Agriculture. All of those entities came together and their staff to organize and to plan to execute a week of successful conferences. And of course, we couldn't do this without our sponsors. Not only were these three entities major sponsors, but we had the Southern SARE, the Southern Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program, which gave us funding, which made it possible for us to pay for the registration for farmers, and possible for us to transport farmers between the districts. Then we had, last again but never least, the Simcoe Foundation, which gave us funding as well. And with the funding that we received from the foundation, we're able to provide overnight accommodation for farmers coming from St. John and St. Thomas to St. Paul. So these are my reflections, and these are my thank yous to all who made it happen, Mr. Abraham.
Yes, Commissioner, it was indeed a great effort with regards to individuals, pooling the resources and providing us with those resources to make this happen for our farmers. So, Commissioner, you did put in a lot of hard work, with regards to that SARE, which provided that lion's share of the resources which is available. Commission, the back and forth and resubmission, Commission headaches. Give thanks, Commission, it paid off, Yeah. That was you. That one that was all you, Commission. Give thanks for us, Yeah, man. But Commission, yes, go ahead. Yes.
To ongoing work, and as recently as early as tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, we're having meet and greet / orientation with some of our farmers who are going to be participating in our initiative entitled the use of the cooperative business model to increase production and marketing, especially across the territory. We are pleased that we have farmers who are interested, who signed up, and we are going to have, like you said earlier, our initial meeting with those farmers. For us to meet with them, but for them to meet with each other. Because this is going to be a teamwork, team spirit.
That is it.
Here on out.
That is it.
We're going to share with them the expectations, and they're going to share, of course, with us any concerns that they may have. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow evening and meeting with your farmers. And of course, we're going to keep our audience who's tuning right now abreast of the developments, abreast of as we move forward, what's happening with the project, so that we all can be on the same page. And that's what this program is all about. That's what this program is all about. Sharing with the public, outreaching, or receiving their input as well. Mr. Abraham,
yes. No, Commissioner, I was just saying, I apologize if I butt in there, but I'm happy to how you mentioned this, because it put the icing on the cake to what I was saying earlier, informing or letting the public be aware, of the best strategy going forward to reduce the import rate, to increase availability, to increase access of locally grown food is the co-op. And and I'm happy to be a part of that Department of Agriculture. We're not only speaking it, but we're actually taking the bull by the horn, and we are actually implementing this project to of this ideology, because the farmers who are part of this project, which there are 15, they will be separated, into groups, whether groups of 5 or whether groups of 3, and they will be receiving 16 weeks of training from the professional business model, okay? And then we will be charging the participants of this program to grow 2 crops collectively and have
Roots and culture we want. In listening action, let me self-respect. I'm not screen anything. Go is so direct. Hollywood fever spread this alternate mindset. Yes, bad example set with folly exalted. Oh yes, love of money at the root of all slackness. Who do the most in this sense get the fattest check? But Judge only takes all 10 by righteousness. Yes, godliness is friendliness, Babylon a mess. Roots and culture we want. 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 Warfare more important than warfare. Selfless more better than being selfish. When you're content, then there's no need for you to contend. Our tradition better than the